Hello there. We are ready for the next video. So we've built our website. Now we need to get traffic to our website. And that's what we're going to learn in this video today is how to get traffic to your website, both from a free standpoint and a paid standpoint. So if you remember Sophie's story, she, had built her website and she had sweaty palms when she was building it, but now she's built her website and she went to the fact that she learned about SEO and Google Analytics and Facebook Pixel. She did all that stuff. So we're going to talk about that because it's super easy to do and you all should put that on your websites. So we want to create content. That is how we drive traffic. First and foremost, create great content that our customers will be interested in reading, interested in learning about, interested in growing their careers and or making their life better if they're just consumers. So we do this by creating lots of different types of content. And when we produce content, remember that we have SEO things that we can help drive traffic from a search engine optimization standpoint. We have a Facebook pixel on our website. We have Google Analytics, which is on our website as well, so we can track people coming to our site. So all these help us understand the content that we're going to be producing. Another great place to look for is like BuzzSumo or Ubersuggest. Both of those are great websites that you can go to and type in a topic and you'll see like what has been popular in that topic. So if you're especially in mainstream topics, there'll be things that have been popular for maybe a year or 2 years. So go to like BuzzSumo, type in your topic, and you'll see what's been popular over the years from a social media standpoint, and see what people are already reading based on your product or service. So let's talk about content because content is where it all starts. First and foremost, content has to be engaging, right? It has to be engaging. So whatever form the content is in, whether that's a video, whether that's a blog post, whether that's just a written article, whether that's an infographic, which is just a graphic, storytelling, it has to be engaging. We want it to, so people want to read it. That's why you look at like your Google Analytics and you can see how people how long they spend on your website. So that means how long they're reading your content. So you want to know that stuff, right? So that's how you know when content is good, when people read like the whole article or half of it or 3/4 of it. So the content has to be engaging. And you'll see that on social media, on all these things. So let's talk about, what we can do with content on a free basis. So, okay, let's assume that we've created some content, whatever form that is, and what do we do with that content now, right? What the heck do we do with that? Well, we go to social media. We can spread it on social media, whether that's Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or even Reddit or Quora in a certain way. So we can use all those platforms. Medium is another platform if we have a good blog post. So all those things we can place for free and share that information. There's also networks that you can join that you can spread just basic articles on it. So what you want to do is focus first on creating great content and then start placing it in places where where your customers are. And since you've done this research, like we did a few videos ago, right? We know where they look, we know what they read, we know what their interests are. So we're producing content that fits our customer, right? We are fitting what we've learned in three previous videos ago, what our customers want. We're creating videos and or content that they think is interesting. That's why we did that research back there. Okay, so now we have interesting content that we're producing, and you should be doing this on a regular basis. I mean, not just do one piece, but you should be doing this once a week or once every 2 weeks or whenever you can, but it should be a consistent basis. Don't just do one blog post or one piece of content. Produce several types of content. It also helps you understand what type of content more resonates with some of your customers. So I wouldn't just do one type of content. So spread that again on your social media platforms, and you're not going to be able to spread it on everything. Like you can't do everything. You can't be doing Instagram and Pinterest and YouTube and LinkedIn and Facebook. You're not going to be successful on all those. So pick one or two that you know that your customers are at, or at least you think your customers are at, and try to be good at one or two of those social media platforms. Don't try to be good at everything. You'll never do it. So just pick one or two. And then also, again, we've talked about this before, but you should be members of some of these groups on Facebook and Reddit where you have customers and you can repost your content on those platforms in those groups. So that's why we did that stuff back in a few videos ago about doing research around groups. So really, that's what it's all about: producing good content that's engaging and finding places where your customers are and placing that content in front of them. And you're going to learn what's really resonating with your customers, and you'll learn what's not resonating. And if you have no clue, which you would because you've already done research on this, but if you don't have, you need some more ideas, then go to like a BuzzSumo or an Ubersuggest, and that'll help you with ideas around creating content for certain topics. So that is the unpaid, the free version of getting content. Now there's lots of paid, and I'm going to go highlights here. I'm not going to go into details about this because you can type in and find hundreds of places to spend money for spreading your content or creating ads, etc. But I just want to go over the highlights of things so you at least know what your options are. Now I'm going to start with the B2C, so business to consumer. Let's assume your target is a consumer. What do we have choices as? Well, the most obviously is Facebook. It's still very inexpensive when you know your messaging and you know your customer to create leads and create activity. So Facebook is still great for that. Of course, there's Instagram, which, by the way, you know that Instagram is owned by Facebook. So it's the same platform. When you're advertising on Facebook, it's just another checkbox to advertise on Instagram. Just FYI, in case you didn't know that. So Facebook and Instagram, of course. You can always do YouTube. It's great if you're doing like a how-to do something. That's awesome for YouTube. YouTube has a lot of that content, like how to do X, how to do Y. So YouTube's great if your product is around those things. So those are the kind of the normal things, right? Some other additional ones like Outbrain. That's just Outbrain, outbrain.com, which is where you can place content. You'll probably see it at the bottom of a lot of web pages. So that's another thing that people sometimes overlook. It's pretty inexpensive, but it is great for certain types of products. Insurance products are good down there. There's lots of products you can do, but I would take a look at Outbrain depending on your product type. Might have heard about creating a funnel, a sales funnel. ClickFunnels is a super popular platform that you can use to create funnels. So I highly recommend doing some research around creating a funnel. It depends on your type of product, but yeah, you're probably going to create some type of a funnel, or maybe it's at some level it's probably some kind of a funnel. And all a funnel is, just describe it very simply, is you have a lead generation top of the funnel. That's the biggest part of the funnel, the top of it, right? The big part of the top of the funnel is the lead generation. That's where you create some kind of lead magnet and you push people into that funnel at the top. They've either gotten some free report or you've given them something in return for getting their email address. So they've entered your top of your funnel, and you force them through the funnel and giving them, sending them additional email, additional information, and they'll sooner or later go down the funnel. At the bottom of the funnel, hopefully you're able to sell them your product or service. So that's all a funnel is. It's really simple. You can get really super technical and intricate with sales funnels, and ClickFunnels is actually a great service to do that with. But yeah, so you want to create a lead magnet to do that, which is again just a piece of content that you can give away in return for like an email address. So what I'd always recommend doing a free report or something it's a great lead magnet. Even if your lead magnet is literally just to get an email address and then you put that email address into MailChimp or some email service provider and start sending them emails, that is also great too. What's also important to remember is when you have a Facebook pixel on your website, right, which is, again, it's all that Facebook pixel is doing is it's tracking people coming to your website. And so, you can retarget people that have visited your website on Facebook. So you actually can retarget those people and basically follow them around the internet with your ads. So that's a great thing to do, and you can do it around the internet, not just on Facebook, but that's called retargeting. So you basically identify someone that's been to one of your website, web page, or they watched a video, or they've interacted with you at some level, and you can add them into that retargeting campaign, which traditionally is a much cheaper way to advertise because you already touched them once. So now you're retargeting them now. So that is something that you should definitely take a look at. So that really is the kind of the nuts and bolts of paid advertising for the B2C side. The B2B side, business to business, again, all those things that I just mentioned all still matter in B2B, but the difference with the B2B is LinkedIn is really the differentiator for them, because when you're B2B, your decision maker is probably on LinkedIn. They're all decision makers, or many of them decision makers, and you can see by title who those people are. And again, we've went through that before in a previous video. But I would really spend some time on LinkedIn and again, finding your audience and producing content that they like. And again, this is very easy to research. You can see what IT directors are reading. You can look at 25 profiles of IT director. You can see what they're reading, and you can produce content that's similar to what you see that a lot of people have commented on or shared. So that's a great way to kind of reverse engineer how to create content for your decision makers on LinkedIn. So if you're producing well-researched content that you may spend 3 or 4 or 5, 6 days on, over time of doing some research around a particular topic, and you post that, whether it's in video or written form on LinkedIn, you start to be seen as somewhat of an expert. So that's really helpful for your company because they see you as being super knowledgeable around some certain topic. So that's also a way to really start to garner some attention and engagement on LinkedIn, is spend a lot of time and do some really in-depth type articles it takes you some time. It's not going to be easy, but they will really help you become that expert in your industry and or for a new product or service that you're creating. So I would highly recommend doing that. It's great for small business owners. I mean, it's just awesome for small business owners because it's so easy to do. It's not easy in the way of, it does take effort, but it's just effort to do those kind of things. So the keys for the video today are really about create content that matters. It's got to be engaging. Your customers have to care about it. So focus on that. What form that content in really doesn't matter. Just focus on creating great quality content. And then second is, look at creating a lead magnet, some kind of free report, something you can give away and get an email address, because email addresses are very valuable when they're coming from customers, correct? The assignments for this video are 3 things. 1, I want you to make sure you install the Facebook Pixel, Google Analytics, and a service like Crazy Egg. Crazy Egg tracks how people are actually using the website. So you're actually seeing what they're doing while they're on that page. So I highly recommend making sure those 3 things are on your website. That's one assignment. The second thing is, you need to create a good lead magnet, and that's a free guide or report that is valuable to your customers, a lot of value to your customers, and it doesn't have to be long. Like 3 or 4 or 5 pages is plenty. Just make sure it's high quality, that people really care about, and they'll exchange their email address for that report, because that is going to be really valuable. If it's done well, it can really explode your business. So highly recommend getting that lead magnet created. And last but not least, what I would do is, you can join these Facebook pages. They're public, most of them, and if they're not, they let basically anyone in, about how to create quality funnels, like sales funnels. So like ClickFunnels has a great one. There's several others. Just do a search on Facebook. You'll find these great groups that really talk about how to do funnels. And I would recommend jumping into that because you can really learn a lot of tricks. I mean, there's just tons to learn about that. And it's great where you have a group of, maybe there's 400 or 500 people on that group, and you can ask questions and learn pretty quickly on how to create good sales funnels. Of course, using that lead magnet. So that's the assignments today. Until the next video, we'll see you soon. Thanks a lot for stopping. Bye-bye.